such is life, right? Every time I plan on taking my Mustang for a drive, something's always in the way, okay? How you like that little motorcycle soup right behind me? We'll talk about those in a little bit. But I was like, Friday, I decided, Caitlin, you've been working way too hard, frankly. And yes, I have. And you're going to treat yourself to a ride in your beautiful 65 Mustang Fastback. It actually does have a little bit of a power steering leak. That's okay. That's all right. So it's up on the lift anyways, but I forgot it was on the lift. Look, it's so beautiful. That car. It really is. That's like the best purchase of my life right here. Anyways, not only is it up on the lift, but I know this Packard 55 Packard Caribbean is dead, basically. It is not going anywhere right now. The Mach 1 I know could get up and move. Definitely I don't know whose Carrera that is. I don't know whose Carrera that is. Anyways, the Carrera can move, but the Packard ain't. This is beautiful. Oh, look, you can see some little Dagmar bumpers. Those were kind of a colorful nickname given to that kind of bumper because there was a very famous actress named Dagmar who was voluptuous. She was voluptuous, and that's why they call those bumper Dagmars. So if I'm not going to make a video about my Mustang, well, why don't I take you around and show you a few of the cars that are in here? Well, first off, we have this 1969 Mustang Fastback. Mustang. I got Fastbacks on the mind. Mach 1. And 69 was the first year for the Mach 1s. This has a 428 Cobra Jet in it with the shaker hood. Look at that. Oh, when I tell you this car is fun to drive, I am not kidding. Like, this is a blast. This is a blast. We got a couple of 38 Cadillacs. Bloop, bloop, right over there. A 72 MGB. I love an MGB. I love MG cars. Like, really, when I think about it, MG cars has a lot to do with my family, all right? My dad kind of accidentally became a mechanic because he had an MG TD during high school, and back then, you couldn't take your European import to your corner mechanic and work on it. So that's how he got into cars. One of my oldest brother's first car was an MGB. It was this, we actually have it over there. It's a butterscotch color, so I fell in love with it. And then this is my other brother's MGB. So it actually has a pretty cool license plate. It's got a hilarious license plate on there. Let's see. 1776 Brexit. It's funny. But the MGB is great. It's a fun car to drive. It's a blast. If you ever drive a Miata, the MGB was a car that the Miata design team tore down and built up as inspiration. This is a beautiful Lincoln. I need to do like an actual history video on this Lincoln because it's glorious. Let's take a look on the interior. Okay, the interior is getting a little work. Maybe I don't show you that part. And then, beautiful. I think this is a 1986 Porsche 928. Well, I know it's a 928, but I'm trying to remember the year because I actually did a whole history video on the 928. This was a Porsche that was underrated and caused so many panties to be bunched up in a twirl of Porsche enthusiasts. And yes, I know the proper pronunciation is Porsche, but I'm born and raised in South Texas. We say things a little different around here, and I've been saying Porsche since I was 8. I'm just too old of a dog to learn any new tricks. Anyways, it was a V8, it was water cooled, and the engine placement was like blowing people's minds. They were like, why is the engine in the front? Rawr! And then right behind it, the beloved 911. This is a 71 or a 72, if I remember right, 911S. And this car, it has good memories. When we went to pick it up, it's owned by one of our good friends. When I went to go pick this up, okay, he said, well, Caitlin, I don't know how much gas it has. And I don't know if you stop it, it'll actually start again. Okay? Let me see. My sister's calling. I'm just going to decline that, and I will call her right back. Can I call you back later? There we go. Okay. So I'm like, okay, John, that's all right. Like, I just won't stop. Like, all I have to do, and when I'm driving, it's this car I picked up on the island here in South Texas in Corpus Christi. So that means I have to go over one of the large bridges that we have. And really, the key to getting over a bridge is just getting to the halfway point. All right? That way you fall forward instead of back. And it did run out of gas, but I did get over the bridge. I was on the other side of the bridge. Oh, look. I didn't even realize it when I was starting, but we're just hopping around in the Porsche world. The 914. Now, if you've never driven a 914, put it on your bucket list. These are so fun. It's like driving. Do you have the Cooper? So, I would say a 914 and this Mini Cooper are some of my favorites for driving. This is a 50-50 weight distribution. It is fun, all right? 914s are a blast. It was supposed to be it's funny when you say it because it sounds so snobby, and I'm definitely no snob. The 914 was supposed to be the poor man's Porsche. So was the 912, and so was the 912E, which I own a 912E. I own it, blah, you know what I mean? When I was 14, we found one that was like half Bondo, and I started restoring it. And so the 912E has the engine of a 914 and the body of a 911. And it was only in 1976, which is different than the 912s, right? 912, 912E. So, and here, I think this one is it. Yeah, this is my dad's first car, the MGTD. So it means a lot. These little pieces of metal have so much emotion to them. And this is my brother Seth's MGB. All right. So you'll notice both of these MGBs had chrome bumpers. All right. Which means that they're both before 1974 and a half. 74 and halfway through 1974. What's the bumper regulations? So at the 5 mile per hour impact. Yeah, anyways. Bumpers changed during that time period. We have beautiful Mercedes SL. I've been needing to make a video on this, and I actually have it written down somewhere that I need to do it, but I just love, see that little that kind of cherry crimson interior. Oh, one of the old Land Rover series. I think it's a Series 2A. I'm like, sometimes my little brain, I'll know, and then sometimes my memory is like a million things, but I'm pretty sure. Anyways, now why you might see a lot of Land Rovers painted that color? Well, I'll switch my hands because this little hand started holding up the phone. Okay, now this is after World War II, and this is a surplus military paint that they used because if your enemy aircraft is above you, they can't see you, blending in with the British landscape. Now, also, why Land Rover? Why the Queen literally was like, "Hey, I'm seeing too many Jeeps running around the UK." It's like, Land Rover, let's get these out. Let's pop out some Jeep-esque. And so it was really based on the Jeep too. Oh, one of my favorites. Citroen. Everybody's gonna be like, "You're not saying that right either." I don't care. Like, I talk fast. I also say Jaguar. I know it's Jaguar. Whatever. The Citroen 2 Chevaux. It's a camionette. I love these cars. Look, you can't be more. There ain't nothing more simple than what's going on right there. And that was the intention. Now, Citroen, the 2 Chevaux was the car that got France back behind a wheel. And on wheels. Really, it's the goal. Like, I like how I'm showcasing these two gigantic trash cans. It's not my intention. So the 2 Chevaux was basically the sales terminology was something along the lines of like we want a car that can go across basically an unpaved field, a field with a like carton of eggs and a bushel of potatoes. Something like that. That quote about what this was needed for has been bastardized a little bit, and I bastardize it every time. But the Douche is great. And I really like, I'm entering into bad lighting. That's okay. I'm just kind of obsessed with this. And I need to make a drive video on it sometime because it has, the shift is this interesting, you pull it, it's something that if you are used to driving manual, it is not what you typically do, right? And I love it. Now, Citroen, all right, founded by André Citroen, which is kind of one of my, I got like 20 favorite characters in the automotive world. Here I am, back by these trash cans. And Andre was one of them, okay? How he started, let's see if I can show you. So this is the Citroen emblem, okay? I'm talking so much. So this is Citroen emblem. Those are chevron gears, all right? Because Andre got his start and his fortune and his foot into the door of manufacturing by producing chevron-shaped gears. And these gears were huge. There's a photo of them. Like, there's basically gears that are twice the size of a human. It's really cool looking. And then he went into, he did ammunitions, he did like a whole variety of things, and then he started making cars, right? My sister just sent me a text message. Anyways, she's like, why aren't you responding? Well, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of making a video, and I don't like to edit, so if I can just I'm not gonna edit, basically, so what you see is what you get. Okay, so his manufacturing plants, all right? This is first, because Henry Kaiser would do this at some point, but Andre, I'm pretty sure, did it before him, okay? He had, markets on site. He had healthcare on site, like a little doctor's office set up, and childcare on site. So really cool. Now, unfortunately, I don't remember, I can't spit it off the top of my head, but he would eventually, I think, basically kind of get kicked out, and I think he died of stomach cancer, which sucked, but cool guy, all right? Also, the Traction Avant, big deal, man. If I see those come up on Bring a Trailer, I'm just like watching them like crazy. This is an awesome old Ford that this once my father made my granny cry in it, which don't do that to your mother-in-law, you know what I mean? But yeah, you can see, so these are, so you don't flip over, because that's a possibility this thing hauls. The parachute, which is we've never needed to do it, but I think the first, look, it's just badass. So this, and I almost shouldn't even show you because it's like kind of covered in stuff. This was one of my dad's early Formula Fords that he would drive, and when I was a kid, go out and watch them at PCA and SCCA events, and it was awesome. Okay, switching hands because my little hand is tired. Okay, so then we have like one of my favorites, this Mini Cooper. And I remember, and I don't know why my dad thought this was a good idea, but he was let me go and take this for a ride when I was like 16. It's so much fun. It's like driving a golf cart. You know what I mean? Or go-kart is what I meant to say. You were just like, you're right on the ground. And also I'm in South Texas, so there's like a lot of trucks and stuff. So a little bit unsafe maybe. Did I just stop that or did it run out of battery? Anyways, so the Mini Cooper. Now, how the birth of the Mini Cooper is a very interesting one. Essentially, Leonard Lord of BMC was like, I may be running out of memory. That's why my phone turned off. We'll find out. I'm going to get through this fast. So Leonard Lord of British Motor Company said, I hate these German bubble cars and I don't want to see them in the UK. And he decided on some specific dimensions, handed him over to Sir Alec Isigonis, and Sir Alec Isigonis already had some history in creating smaller cars with the Morris Minor, and he said, make me a reliable and cheap car so that I do not have to see Isettas and Messerschmitts and so on driving around. And little did you know, with that, basically that initial hatred of German bubble cars, which is ironic because I love German bubble cars, brought on, I think it's the second most influential car of the 20th century behind the Model A. So, I think that's it. Oh, we got another MGB. You can tell that is, we got rubber bumpers. So after 74.5. And I think I have talked your little ear off enough. Now, if you like cars, basically, this is what I do. All right. I talk about cars. I spill little interesting factoids that I find interesting. Maybe you do too. If that's the case, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But this is informal. All right. Like, I'm filming on my 2-year-old Android cell phone. And I don't really care about putting in flashy little transitions or whatever. It's just, this is bare bones. You know what I mean? So if that's your cup of tea, well, I'll see you next time. Bye.